Welcome. Today, we explore the real value of these super rare. First up, the Roosevelt 1 dime 1978. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most recognized coins in the United States. First introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. However, the 1978 Roosevelt dime holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. The year 1978 was notable because of the introduction of the large date variety, a feature that makes certain coins from this year more desirable for collectors. While many 1978 dimes are common, a specific variety, those with a D mint mark and the large date, have captured attention due to their rarity in certain conditions. This dime, often found in everyday change, can still command impressive prices under certain circumstances. The 1978 Roosevelt dime was minted in large quantities, with millions of pieces being struck in both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. However, when it comes to the 1978 D-mint mark, the coins produced in Denver stand out for their size and clarity in detail. In typical conditions, these dimes are worth only a few cents. However, in rare cases where these coins exhibit specific features, such as a color change from oxidation or a dirtied appearance, their value can skyrocket in certain markets. For instance, a color-changed 1978 Roosevelt dime with its distinct tarnishing and patina might be worth up to $20,000 or more depending on the extent of its damage. When placed in the right environment or auction, this coin could even push closer to the $23,000 range, especially if it's in a highly collectible condition with authentication. The Roosevelt dime was designed by artist John R. Sinnock, and the obverse features the bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt with the date and mint mark on the bottom. The reverse features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. The coin's simplicity and elegance have made it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. In the 1978 version, the mint mark D for Denver is visible near Roosevelt's neck, and the large date variety was designed to accommodate a change in the minting process, ensuring that the numbers were clear and distinct. The error variety with a color change is highly sought after. Coins in a dirty condition, where dirt has become embedded in the coin's surface or the coin has developed a dark patina due to exposure to various environmental elements, are of particular interest to advanced collectors. This type of damage, while often regarded as a flaw, can actually add to the rarity and aesthetic appeal of a coin, especially if it is part of a rare minting variety, such as the 1978 large date with a D mint mark. For collectors interested in error coins or those looking for an unusual and unique addition to their collection, this dime is a fascinating choice.
Up the 1939 Abraham Wheat 1-cent coin featuring the D mint mark and found in a damaged condition. At first glance, this may not seem like the most pristine piece, but its historical background, along with its condition, can still spark interest among collectors. The Lincoln Wheat penny was first introduced in 1909, making it a significant part of U.S. coinage history. The design, which showcases President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, was the work of famed sculptor Victor David Brenner. The 1939 Wheat penny is a part of this series, and it was produced during the tail end of the Great Depression, a time of economic hardship in the United States. By 1939, the country was emerging from the depths of the Great Depression, and the economy was beginning to show signs of recovery. The coin was minted in large quantities to meet the needs of daily transactions, and with its high mintage numbers, many of these pennies circulated widely, leading to high numbers of worn-out and damaged coins. The obverse of the 1939 Wheat penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has become iconic in U.S. numismatic history. Brenner's work has been celebrated for its detailed portrayal of the 16th president. The reverse side is adorned with 2 stalks of wheat, representing the nation's agricultural backbone. The coin's overall aesthetic remained unchanged from its introduction in 1909 until 1950, making the 1939 Lincoln Wheat penny part of a long tradition in U.S. coinage. The coin in question, with the D mint mark, was struck at the Denver Mint. This mint mark signifies that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, rather than in Philadelphia or San Francisco. Though many Lincoln wheat pennies were minted in the millions, certain mint marks, including the D mint mark, have garnered more attention due to their rarity in certain years. The total mintage of the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny was approximately 684 million, which is a significant number compared to other years in the wheat series. Despite this high mintage, the 1939 with the D mint mark is still of interest to collectors because of its role in the coinage of the late 1930s, when coins were still in heavy circulation. However, due to the damage this specific coin has sustained, its value is impacted, making it more challenging to estimate its worth accurately without specific auction data. In a damaged condition, the 1939 wheat penny is valued differently than its pristine counterparts. While a 1939 wheat penny in good to excellent condition might fetch thousands of dollars, this one with noticeable scratches and damage will likely fall in a much lower range. In today's auction market, this coin may be valued between $93,400, depending on the extent of the damage. While not a high-ticket item, damaged coins often intrigue collectors interested in historical coins with a story. For collectors seeking pieces with mint errors or damage, this coin still carries some appeal. Errors like off-center strikes or worn die markings are common in coins of this era, and collectors may appreciate owning a piece with visible damage as part of a complete historical collection.
Next up, the Roosevelt 1 dime, 1996. The Roosevelt dime has been a significant part of U.S. coinage since it was introduced in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by the famous artist John Sinek. This coin has endured as a symbol of the late president's legacy. The 1996 Roosevelt dime holds special importance due to a combination of factors, including mintage numbers, the condition of individual coins, and how collectors view the coin in various states. The 1996 Roosevelt dime, minted in Philadelphia, PA, has a relatively high mintage of over 1.4 billion coins. However, despite the large number of coins produced, certain dimes, especially those in poor or damaged condition, can still see surprisingly high values depending on their rarity and demand among collectors. Although the coin you're examining is in dirty and damaged condition, coins like these have a market value that reflects both the rarity and appeal to collectors seeking oddities and imperfections. Coins with unique marks, such as black stains or specific wear patterns, can sometimes carry a premium, but they are also subject to individual collector preference. In terms of auction value, a 1996 Roosevelt dime in damaged condition might range anywhere from $10,000s of dollars, depending on factors like age, specific market conditions at the time, and the personal interest of buyers. While this coin would not fetch prices comparable to pristine specimens, it could still hold sentimental or niche market. This dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by Sinek, with the legend "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 1996. The reverse of the coin displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The P mint mark signifies that it was produced in Philadelphia. However, the black stains and damage you see on this specific coin dramatically alter the visual appearance and value. It's important to note that these blemishes can sometimes lower the coin's grade according to professional grading standards. Though this coin is not an error coin in the traditional sense, like a minting mistake, its condition makes it interesting from a collector's point of view. Error coins often carry higher value, especially when unique features like off-center strikes, double strikes, or unusual wear are present. In some cases, damaged coins might even be bought as curiosities due to the distinctive markings, which could be viewed as part of the coin's history. Collectors tend to find damaged coins fascinating, and there is a segment of numismatists who specifically seek out damaged but rare specimens. If the black marks or damage pattern on this dime is truly unique, collectors might consider it valuable because of its...
Next up, the 1940 Lincoln wheat cent is an important coin in the history of U.S. currency. The Lincoln wheat cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For over 50 years, the Lincoln cent series was produced with the distinctive wheat ears on the reverse. By 1940, the series had already undergone significant changes, but it was still fundamentally tied to the legacy of Lincoln and the wheat motif. The year 1940 was pivotal during the Great Depression and just before the United States entered World War II. The country was still recovering from the economic hardships of the previous decade. As a result, coins produced during this period were primarily used for everyday transactions, and many of them did not receive the care that modern coins do. The 1940 Lincoln wheat cent features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, who created the obverse featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile. The reverse shows 2 stalks of wheat, which is where the coin gets its wheat cent nickname. In this particular coin, the blackened, dirty condition adds a layer of intrigue. This blackened layer often results from exposure to environmental elements over time, which can affect the value in a different way. While dirt can diminish the appeal for some collectors, others see it as a testament to the coin's history, especially when it's seen as a survivor from the era of economic strife. Despite being in a less-than-ideal condition with dirt and a blackened surface, the 1940 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark holds a surprising amount of value in the current market. The condition of a coin plays a massive role in its value, but so does rarity. The more worn or damaged a coin is, the more collectors will pay for it if it carries historical significance or if it's considered rare. Coins like these might fetch anywhere between $3,000 at auction, depending on the level of damage and collector demand. When a coin is left in poor condition or heavily corroded, some collectors seek these survivor pieces to add a rare variant to their collection, sometimes even at a higher price because of the mystery surrounding their past. However, such pieces require careful handling to preserve as much of the original features as possible. While the 1940 Lincoln wheat cent is not known for major minting errors, its dirt and blackened surface might contribute to a unique coin in the eyes of collectors. Coin enthusiasts often seek pieces with a personal story or distinctive characteristics, including those that have been damaged by the environment. Even when damaged, coins like the 1940 Lincoln can be coveted for their rarity and appearance. This coin, particularly in a worn state, might appeal to collectors interested in the historical look of a coin rather than pristine, mint-condition pieces. It's a reminder that coins don't need to be flawless to hold value. Sometimes the imperfections tell a deeper story.
Next up, the 1987 Roosevelt dime marks a year of stability in U.S. coinage, with the design remaining consistent and familiar to collectors. Roosevelt dimes had already been in circulation for over 40 years by this point, and the series is popular due to the simplicity and elegance of its design, along with its association with the memory of President Roosevelt. The 1987 Roosevelt dime specifically is significant because of the way the large date style was implemented, which was a subtle alteration in some years. The 1987 issue is often considered more collectible in fine condition due to the specific minting style during that period. In 1987, over 1.5 billion dimes were produced across the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints. Despite this high mintage, a dime in fine condition still holds value due to factors like the mint mark, unique date styling, and the fine condition itself, which is generally a preferred state for numismatic collectors. The 1987 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark in fine condition could be worth anywhere from $2 to $15 depending on factors like demand, auction competition, and other market variables. A coin in fine condition is typically considered to have light wear but still retains most of its details, making it more appealing than heavily worn or damaged examples. As with all Roosevelt dimes, the coin features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the reverse features a torch with olive and oak branches. The large date refers to a noticeable shift in the size and positioning of the numbers in the date, which became a point of interest for collectors seeking variations from the standard format. The P mint mark further identifies that this coin was minted in Philadelphia, which can make a difference in the overall value of coins from different mints, even for the same year. Error and collector interests. In this case, The large date itself is not an error, but a design variation that can pique the interest of collectors seeking specific year variations. These differences are often minor, but can lead to significant value increases for collectors who focus on date and mint mark varieties. As such, the 1987 Roosevelt dime is one that remains in demand, especially in fine. Collectors interested in Roosevelt dimes might also look for proof versions or coins with unusual toning, making this coin particularly appealing to those looking for coins in a middle-range state, meaning not too worn and not too pristine.
Next up, we have another rare and valuable coin. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny with a D mint mark, characterized by its red color, full damage, and dirty condition. While many may consider a dirty and damaged coin to be less valuable, this one defies expectations, with its market value being driven by its scarcity and the unique characteristics it possesses. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted during a time when the United States was transitioning from a wartime economy to a peacetime one. With the conclusion of World War I, Americans began to focus on rebuilding and reinvigorating their economy. The minting of coins continued at a large scale, but a few anomalies, such as the D mint mark and coins with damage, have persisted as a curiosity for collectors. The D mint mark signifies that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the largest and most significant minting facilities in the United States. The year 1945 saw the end of wartime coinage restrictions and the coinage returned to regular production. This was also the final year for the iconic wheat reverse design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark retains its classic design, with the obverse featuring a portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the reverse showcasing 2 stalks of wheat. However, this particular coin has seen significant wear and damage. The coin's red color indicates that it has been well preserved, but the full damage and dirty condition add a layer of complexity to its value. While the coin may appear unappealing to some, many collectors are drawn to it because of its unique condition, and the D mint mark only increases its desirability. The damage on this coin is significant, and it likely occurred after the coin was minted, potentially due to exposure to harsh elements or mishandling. Despite the damage, the coin's historical significance and its role in the larger context of post-war coinage make it an intriguing specimen. The 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny was produced in large numbers, but coins in this condition, especially those with significant damage, are much less common. The market value of this coin in dirty and damaged condition can vary, but coins with these characteristics typically sell in the range of $200,000s in auctions, depending on the severity of the damage. Coins that have undergone cleaning or show significant signs of wear can sometimes fetch lower prices, but there is always a niche market for coins with unique features like this. In higher grade condition, this coin could fetch much more, but in its current state, collectors are often looking for rare and unique finds rather than perfection. The price is also influenced by the coin's historical context, rarity, and collector demand for damaged yet rare pieces. Collectors who focus on error and damaged coins often find themselves attracted to pieces like the 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny. While the general collecting community tends to prioritize coins in pristine condition, there is a special group of collectors who value coins with unique histories and imperfections. The damage on this coin, paired with its red color and the D mint mark, gives it a distinctive character that is highly appreciated by certain collectors.
Next up, the 1982 Roosevelt dime is one of the more modern coins that, under certain conditions, can command impressive values in the market. Although it is part of a well-established series, the coin's mintage and condition play a significant role in determining its value. The Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946, was designed by John R. Sinnock to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death in 1945. Roosevelt was an incredibly important figure in American history, being the only U.S. president elected to 4 terms. The dime was chosen as the coin to honor him because of his tireless efforts to improve the economic conditions of the United States during the Great Depression. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced nearly 4.5 billion dimes, making it one of the most heavily circulated years. The D-Mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. However, the 1982 Roosevelt dime remains a noteworthy coin, particularly for those interested in varieties, mint errors, and collecting all issues of the Roosevelt dime series. Despite the massive mintage, certain 1982 dimes, especially those in unique or unusual conditions, can fetch surprising amounts at auction. For instance, a 1982 Roosevelt dime with a D-Mint mark in dirty or worn condition could potentially be worth far more than its face value. Coin collectors and investors often focus on specific attributes of these dimes, such as die errors, weak strikes, or even unusual wear patterns. The coin's dirty condition doesn't necessarily detract from its potential value. In fact, it could actually serve as a form of patina, showcasing the coin's journey through circulation and making it a unique piece for some collectors. While it might not be as valuable as rarer or higher quality examples, a 1982 Roosevelt dime in dirty condition can still fetch anywhere from $100,000 at auction, depending on the degree of wear and the interest among bidders. The obverse of the 1982 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design is relatively simple, reflecting Roosevelt's dignified image, with the words "Liberty and in God we trust" surrounding his portrait. The year 1982 is also displayed to the right of Roosevelt's head. On the reverse side of the coin, a torch is prominently featured in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace and strength. The reverse design also includes the words United States of America and a pluribus unum, with the denomination 1 dime at the bottom. The 1982 coin was produced with the same composition as its predecessors, containing 91.67 copper and 833 nickel. The striking features of this coin remain crisp, even in dirty or worn specimens, though collectors typically seek out those in higher grades. Collectors of Roosevelt dimes often look for specific mint errors or unusual characteristics, such as misstrikes, double die errors, or off-center strikes. These factors can significantly impact the value of an otherwise common coin like the 1982 dime. Even in a dirty condition, if the coin has a known error or unusual strike, its market value could increase considerably, especially among error coin collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes. The market for Roosevelt dimes, particularly the 1982 issue, is robust as the series continues to be popular with collectors due to Roosevelt's iconic status and the relative ease of building a complete set. However, it's important to note that not all collectors are interested in dimes in dirty condition, and such coins typically fetch less than their mint condition counterparts.
Next up, the 1949 Abraham Lincoln wheat cent was struck during a year of economic transition for the United States. Post-Hawaii, the country was adjusting to a peacetime economy, and many of the restrictions that had been placed on coin production during the war were lifted. The 1949 penny marks a period when the nation was returning to normalcy, though there were still some economic difficulties ahead. The lack of a mint mark on this particular coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary mint for many of the nation's coins during this period. Unlike the 1946 SS penny, which had a specific mint mark denoting its origin from San Francisco, the 1949 without a mint mark was part of a larger mintage struck in Philadelphia, which usually produced the bulk of the nation's coinage during this era. The absence of a mint mark on this coin makes it particularly desirable to collectors who focus on mint mark varieties or seek to complete their sets of pennies from various mints. The lack of a mint mark can also increase the coin's value slightly, as collectors often place a premium on coins from the Philadelphia Mint, especially in higher grades. The total mintage of the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark was around 400 million coins. This is a large number, but like the 1946 coin, the vast majority of these coins were circulated and show signs of wear. Coins that have been preserved in better condition, especially those in the higher end of the grading scale, are considered rarer and more valuable. In circulated condition, a 1949 Lincoln wheat cent can be valued at around $10,000, however. The value increases significantly when the coin is in better condition. For a coin in very fine or extra fine condition, collectors may pay between $45,000. In uncirculated grades, the coin can easily fetch $269,000 or more, with specimens that grade in mint state 65 or higher, potentially commanding values of $300,000. Auction prices for high-grade examples of the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent continue to rise as collectors continue to seek out these valuable coins for their collections.
Next up, the 1977 Roosevelt dime with its D-mint mark is another interesting coin in the Roosevelt dime series. This coin reflects a pivotal era in American history during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, a time marked by political and economic challenges. The 1970s were marked by high inflation, the oil crisis, and increasing global tension, but the coinage continued to follow its established patterns, with a focus on honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Roosevelt dime series is one of the most collected coin series in American numismatics. The 1977 dime was minted in large quantities, but it holds significant appeal due to its historical context and its status as part of the post-war series. The coin, in good condition, which generally shows significant wear but still retains legibility, can command a fair market value, especially if it is sought after by collectors interested in early-year Roosevelt dimes. The 1977 dime had a relatively high mintage, with nearly 2.7 billion coins produced, so it is not considered rare in the traditional sense. However, it has continued to hold collector interest due to its status within the Roosevelt dime series and its historical significance. A 1977 Roosevelt dime in good condition may sell for a modest amount at auction. In today's market, such a coin can fetch between $4 and $12, depending on factors like the level of wear and collector demand. However, it's worth noting that even coins in lower conditions like good are still collectible, and they can appeal to those who wish to complete a Roosevelt dime set. As with other Roosevelt dimes, the design on the 1977 coin remains highly recognizable. The obverse features the famous portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, with his face turned to the left and surrounded by the inscription "Liberty in God, We Trust" and the year of issue. While the 1977 Roosevelt dime is not known for a significant number of errors, collectors still search for specimens that exhibit interesting features or unusual characteristics. These might include doubling, die cracks, or overstrikes, which could increase a coin's value considerably. In good condition, these errors are often harder to spot, but when they do appear, they can drive up the coin's auction value.
Next up, let's talk about the 1944 Abraham Wheat 1 penny large date without a mint mark, found in full dirty condition. This particular coin brings us to a pivotal time during World War I and highlights the importance of coinage in wartime America. The year 1944 was a turning point in World War I, with the Allies making significant strides toward victory. The United States was firmly involved in the war effort, and this period saw drastic changes in the economy, especially in how precious metals were utilized. During this time, pennies were still made of copper, but the war effort would soon lead to the introduction of the steel penny in 1943, which replaced copper to conserve metal for the war. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny features the large date variety, which refers to the size of the numbers on the coin's obverse. This coin was produced when copper was still plentiful, and it became symbolic of the resilience of the American economy, even as the country was still entrenched in the war. This particular coin being without a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, where most of the 1944 pennies were produced. The design of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny remained consistent with the rest of the series. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse depicts 2 stalks of wheat. The large date variety, which became a feature in the 1944 coins, was simply a result of the mint's decision to adjust the size of the numerals for easier readability. The significant aspect of this coin lies in its dirty condition. A coin that has experienced extensive wear and dirt accumulation often loses much of its lustrous appeal. But it's important to understand that certain collectors seek coins in various conditions for their historical authenticity. In a heavily worn state, A coin like this one can still tell the story of the time it spent circulating in the pockets of Americans during the war. In 1944, the total mintage for the Lincoln Wheat penny exceeded 1 billion coins, with the vast majority coming from the Philadelphia Mint, which is why the lack of a mint mark is common. Given the high mintage, it would typically be a more common coin, but the 1944 penny still holds a significant place in history. A clean, uncirculated 1944 penny could be worth more than $1, but in dirty condition, it would fetch a lower price, perhaps in the range of $57,000 at auction. For collectors of historical coins, particularly those with wartime significance, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny is a valuable piece, even when in dirty condition. While the mintage is high and the coin may not hold much value in poor condition, it still remains an integral part of the Lincoln Wheat penny series. In this full dirty state, the 1944 penny has limited appeal to some collectors. However, for those interested in YE-era coinage, this piece might be valued more for its historical context than its condition. Auction prices for these dirty coins could range between $58,000, depending on the level of interest from collectors looking for specific wartime pieces.
Next up, the 1967 Roosevelt dime, especially in its circulated and dirty condition, holds a surprising market interest, though it might seem an unlikely candidate for high value. To understand why this coin stands out, let's take a look at its historical background, design features, and why even coins in less than ideal condition can garner significant value. The 1967 Roosevelt dime came during a pivotal moment in American history. The country was in the midst of the 1960s, a time marked by great social and political change. President Lyndon B. Johnson was in office, overseeing major legislation such as the Civil Rights Act and the establishment of Medicare. Amid these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins for circulation, with the Roosevelt dime acting as a critical part of the everyday American currency system. This coin, minted without a mint mark, is especially significant for a few reasons. First, in 1965, the U.S. Mint eliminated the use of silver in most dimes, quarters, and half dollars, making this the first time in American history that these coins were composed of a copper-nickel clad. By 1967, the coin had solidified its place in U.S. coinage as a symbol of Roosevelt's legacy. The market value of this coin today is higher than many would expect. In dirty or heavily circulated condition, the value primarily depends on the rarity of the coin in circulation, the specific minting process, and demand from collectors seeking older dimes. Collectors are often drawn to this coin for several reasons. Its association with President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was instrumental in leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II, adds to its allure. The 1967 dime's value increases with its unique history. And while it may be marked by wear and dirt, those very features can often signify the coin's long journey through circulation, making it more desirable for collectors who seek authenticity and historical context. When assessing a 1967 Roosevelt dime, collectors often examine its design closely. The obverse features a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, while the reverse shows a torch flanked by olive branches representing peace and an oak branch, symbolizing strength. The coin's simple design and the quality of the engraving on the dime's surface make it a standout in American numismatics. Though the coin in question is in dirty condition, it is not without value. Coins like this one are sometimes sold at auctions or private sales for a price higher than face value. The dirty condition, while reducing its grading, can make it more accessible to younger collectors who are just beginning their coin journey but want to own a piece of American history. The lack of a mint mark makes this specific 1967 dime more valuable as collectors look for those without mint designations, often treating these as rarer variants. In today's auction market, the 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, even in dirty condition, can be valued anywhere from $50,000 depending on its overall appeal. If you happen upon one in decent shape, it could even fetch. Collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes are often more than willing to pay for the rarity and unique characteristics, including coins that tell the story of their time spent in circulation.
Next up, the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent is another iconic piece from the era of World War II. As the United States prepared for entry into the war, coins like the 1941 cent were being used in daily circulation. At this time, the U.S. Mint produced various coins for wartime needs, and the Lincoln cent continued to play an essential role in American life. The S Mint mark signifies that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which has a unique history of producing coins for the West Coast and the U.S. Coast and the U.S. territories. In 1941, there was a resurgence in the focus on the economy as the U.S. geared up for the war effort. The production of the Lincoln wheat cent continued despite the challenges of war. However, these pennies were often used heavily in commerce and frequently found themselves in poor condition due to heavy circulation. Much like its predecessors, the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent features the likeness of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor Brenner. The reverse, which features 2 stalks of wheat, is emblematic of the agricultural prosperity that the U.S. wanted to symbolize. The San Francisco Mint produced high-quality coins, and the 1941 cent with an S Mint mark is one of the more coveted versions. The fine condition of this coin indicates it has seen use, but retains much of its original details, including the wheat ears and Lincoln's image. While not a perfect coin, a fine condition 1941, wheat penny still holds significant value, especially among collectors who focus on the quality of the design and the preservation of the original minting. A 1941 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition, especially with the S Mint mark, has proven to hold considerable value in the collector's market. While common coins in lower grades might only fetch a few dollars, the fine condition of a coin significantly increases its worth. In the case of the 1941 S Lincoln wheat cent, prices can range from $100,000s of dollars depending on the specific market and auction circumstances. As collectors seek coins with specific mint marks and in various conditions, the 1941 S penny has maintained a strong place in the market due to its historical significance, rarity in fine condition, and its status as a classic part of U.S. coinage. For those who specialize in collecting Lincoln wheat pennies or mint mark varieties, the 1941 AS is a key piece. While the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is not widely known for significant mint errors, it remains a highly sought-after coin because of its rarity and the S Mint mark. In recent years, there has been a growing trend of interest in the finer details of Lincoln wheat cents, with specific interest in mint mark varieties. Collectors often gravitate toward mint mark varieties like the 1941 S for their specific interest in the San Francisco Mint's production. Even small variations in the design or minor defects may lead to a premium in price, as certain minting issues or flaws can make a coin more valuable. This particular coin is also attractive to those who collect by date and mint mark combinations.
Next up, move to another Roosevelt dime from a later year, the 1976 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark. While this coin shares similarities with the 1967 dime, it offers a slightly different story, shaped by the historical events of the 1970s and the specific minting process that set it apart. The year 1976 was an important one for the United States. It marked the bicentennial of the nation's independence, and various coins from this year were issued with special designs. While the Roosevelt dime didn't receive a special bicentennial design like the quarters and half dollars, it was still part of a year of celebration and transition. By this time, the U.S. Mint was fully engaged in producing clad coins, marking the last period of regular Roosevelt dime circulation before a shift in composition in the years that followed. Unlike the earlier coins, the 1976 dimes were issued with the same composition, a copper-nickel clad, which made it less rare in terms of precious metal content. However, the 1976 coin, particularly in its circulated, dirty state, has a strong connection to the larger historical context. For collectors, it can represent a period of economic challenges, such as inflation and energy crises, that affected the U.S. During the 1970s, the 1976 Roosevelt dime retains the basic features of the earlier series: Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and the torch, olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. Despite the less exciting design, the 1976 coin has historical significance. Coins from this era, particularly those with wear and tear, attract collectors due to their historical resonance. Collectors love to speculate on the journey these coins may have gone through in the past, though the coin's value in circulated condition is still below significant premiums. It can be highly desirable when it's presented in certain contexts. Errors or variations in minting processes can also elevate the value of specific coins. The 1976 Roosevelt dime doesn't feature any major minting errors like some other coins, but minor imperfections or discrepancies in minting coins with unusual wear patterns or specific anomalies are frequently sought after by error coin collectors who are looking for those hidden gems that stand out in the collection world. This particular coin, in dirty condition, still finds its place in the market at auction. Its value typically ranges from $89,000 in auctions depending on its level of damage, rarity in the market, and the interest from collectors who seek the quirks of coins like this one.
Next up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, particularly the one without a mint mark and featuring a unique damage dot above the date, holds a special place in the world of numismatics. To understand why this coin is so valuable today, let's first look at the historical context and features that make it stand out. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It features a portrait of the 16th U.S. president on the obverse and 2 ears of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing America's agricultural prosperity. The 1945 coin was minted at the tail end of World War IE, a period when the United States was transitioning from a wartime economy to peacetime production. This particular year saw the end of wartime rationing and a return to normalcy, which influenced the coin's overall design and production. The absence of a mint mark on the 1945 penny suggests that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the primary mint for the U.S. coins at the time. However, the most remarkable feature of this coin is the mysterious dot above the date. This is believed to be a result of either a minting error or damage that occurred post-production. While it's not a standard minting feature, it is often cited as an error that has attracted collectors due to its rarity and unique look. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny's design is iconic. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The reverse showcases 2 stalks of wheat, which are a symbol of the nation's agricultural roots. This design was used from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1945 penny features a copper alloy composition, and the coin's fine condition ensures that it retains much of its original detail, making it appealing to collectors. The damage dot above the date on this coin is a result of a rare imperfection in the striking process. Though errors like this are often dismissed, it is considered highly valuable by collectors because of its rarity and the intrigue it generates. The dot could have occurred from something as simple as debris on the die or a minor imperfection during the minting process. Coins with post-mint damage like this are a controversial subject in the collecting world, but their value is often driven up by the level of rarity and the stories they tell. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in large numbers, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 1 billion pennies that year. Despite this, the 1945 without a mint mark and with a damage dot is extremely rare. The market value of this coin in fine condition can vary, depending on the severity of the damage and the level of interest from collectors. A coin in fine condition typically has visible details, though it may show signs of wear, such as light scratches and discoloration. However, the rarity of the error and the damage dot has led this coin to fetch prices upwards of $83,000 in today's auction market. Coins with additional unique features like the damage dot can see their value soar to even higher amounts, especially when they are authenticated and graded by reputable organizations such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the professional coin grading service collectors who seek out. Rare error coins are often willing to pay a premium for these pieces, as they represent a unique piece of history and a fascinating story of coin production. The interest in the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and featuring the damage dot is fueled by the uniqueness of the error and its historical significance. Error coins in general have garnered a dedicated following, and the story behind each error adds to the intrigue. Many collectors focus on assembling full sets of Lincoln wheat pennies, but coins like the 1945 with this rare feature make it a valuable addition to their collection. The rarity and distinctiveness of this particular penny mean that it is often seen as a valuable treasure by numismatists and enthusiasts alike.
Next up, we'll explore one of the rarer and more valuable coins from the Roosevelt dime series, the 1966 Roosevelt dime, with the large date design and no mint mark, found in circulated condition. What makes this coin so unique, and why has it become a collector's favorite? The Roosevelt dime was introduced following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945, with the intention of honoring his legacy, particularly his role in Social Security. The coin replaced the Mercury dime, and its design by John R. Sinnock features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse. The reverse displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. By 1966, the coinage was in full swing with regular releases across different mints. However, a notable characteristic of the 1966 dime is the large date and the absence of a mint mark, which is rare and attracts the attention of collectors. In 1966, the US Mint produced over 1.5 billion Roosevelt dimes, which were distributed across various circulation channels. The issue of the 1966 dime without a mint mark, meaning it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is significant because while the Philadelphia Mint didn't typically include mint marks on dimes at the time, it still stands out due to the large date. This large date variety has drawn much attention over the years. The large digits used on the year 1966 are significantly bigger than those on the standard small date variety, making this a rare error coin. Its distinguishing features, including the sharp contrast in the design, add to its appeal. While not considered a major error coin, like those with significant misstrikes or die errors, the large date variety still holds significant collector interest. The absence of a mint mark, combined with the larger date, creates a sense of rarity and value. Dime collectors and enthusiasts actively seek out these versions, which are often included in error and variety sets. Additionally, the coin's circulated condition plays a part in its value. A circulated coin, though showing signs of wear, can still fetch higher auction prices depending on the rarity and demand at the time. In today's auction market, a 1966 Roosevelt dime in circulated condition can be worth anywhere from $56,000, with well-preserved specimens or those with significant historical appeal possibly fetching higher amounts. The price is heavily influenced by the current market trends, collector demand, and overall condition of the coin.
Next up, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat cent is a standout in the history of U.S. coinage, marking the post-YE era in the United States. The coin was produced at a time when the country was transitioning into an age of economic growth and recovery after the end of the war. The 1940s were a period of change, and this coin represents the resilience of the American people and their optimism for the future. The obverse of the coin famously features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln has been on the cent since 1909, when it first appeared on the coin to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. However, the 1946 version of the wheat cent was part of a larger circulation following the end of wartime shortages, and it continued to carry the legacy of Lincoln's portrait on its obverse, along with the wheat stalks on the reverse. While the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent is not as rare as some other pennies, the version with the S-Mint mark is unique. The S-Mint mark coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint, which is notable for producing both regular and proof coins. The mintage of the 1946 S. Lincoln wheat cent was somewhat lower compared to other years, and the condition of the coin plays a significant role in its value today. The S-Mint mark on the reverse is located beneath the date, identifying the coin as being struck at the San Francisco Mint. This mint mark is an important factor when determining the rarity and value of the coin, as San Francisco was one of the primary mints responsible for producing coinage during the 1940s, and its coins tend to hold additional collector appeal due to their limited mintage in comparison to other mints. The mintage of the 1946 S. Lincoln wheat cent was about 278 million coins. While this may sound like a large number, it's important to note that not all of these coins have survived in good condition, especially since they were produced for circulation and were used extensively. Coins that remain in circulated condition, especially those in lower grades, are more common. However, those in higher grades, such as fine or very fine, are increasingly rare, especially in a market where collectors are always on the hunt for high-quality specimens. In today's auction market, the value of a 1946 Lincoln wheat cent with an S mint mark can vary significantly based on its condition. In circulated condition, the coin might be worth anywhere between $15,000s, however. Coins that have been well preserved and show minimal wear can reach higher values, especially if they grade in higher categories like extra fine or O, about uncirculated. In these conditions, the coin can fetch $56,000. But the real value of this coin lies in its potential to fetch in higher amounts if it is graded as being in mint state, Ms. An M63 or higher example could be worth $72,000 if you're lucky enough to have a coin in gem. Quality Ms. 65 or higher, it could easily sell for upwards of $75,000 or more. Auctions for coins like this, especially in top-tier condition, tend to see strong demand among collectors who seek to complete their Lincoln wheat cent collections. The 1946 SS Lincoln wheat cent is also a coin that holds significant appeal for error collectors. While no major errors are associated with this coin, minor varieties, such as the D over S mint mark or slight die varieties, can make the coin even more valuable. As with most coins, collectors are on the lookout for these anomalies, which can increase the coin's value, sometimes dramatically, depending on the rarity and desirability of the error. Collectors of the Lincoln wheat cent series are often highly dedicated, and many of them are constantly seeking coins in the best possible condition. For this reason, the 1946 SAS Lincoln wheat cent with a higher grade can be a key addition to any collection, not just for its rarity, but for the story it tells about the nation's history in the post-war era.
Next up, we turn our attention to the 1974 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This version of the Roosevelt dime is another significant piece in the dime series, and though not as rare as some other versions, it still holds considerable value, particularly among collectors interested in coinage errors and variations. The year 1974 saw major events in American history, such as the end of the Vietnam War and the beginning of the Watergate scandal's fallout. The U.S. Mint continued producing Roosevelt dimes during this turbulent period, with the designs unchanged since their introduction in 1946. The 1974 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark stands out because, during this period, the Philadelphia Mint did not place mint marks on coins, even though other mints like Denver and San Francisco typically did. This is why coins from the Philadelphia Mint in this era are referred to as no mint mark dimes, and they remain valuable due to their association with this unique production era. The total mintage of the 1974 Roosevelt dime surpassed 800 million coins, making it less rare than other dates from the Roosevelt series. However, the presence of a no-mint mark version, often confused with those from other mints, adds a layer of intrigue for collectors. As with the 1966 version, the design features Roosevelt's bust on the obverse with the traditional reverse showing a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. However, the main distinction comes in the absence of a mint mark on the coin. The absence of a mint mark was common in Philadelphia Mint coins during this period, but collectors still find these coins fascinating due to their unique historical placement. The 1974 no mint mark is not considered a rare error, but it holds value as part of the broader Roosevelt dime collection. Some collectors focus on completing their sets with coins from all years, including those that lack mint marks, making the 1974 issue valuable despite its abundance. The circulated fine condition of this coin generally means it has some wear and tear, but it retains enough of the original design to make it an attractive collectible. The fine condition denotes moderate wear on the coin's surfaces, and such coins are still highly sought after by collectors looking to fill gaps in their sets. In today's market, the 1974 Roosevelt dime in fine condition without a mint mark typically ranges in value from $26,000 depending on factors such as demand and condition. Coins in better condition, or those with higher demand, can see prices closer to the top of this range.
Next up, let's talk about the highly sought after 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This coin stands out for its historical significance and design features, but it's particularly famous due to the potential for rare error versions. The 1955 large date variety holds a special place in the hearts of collectors because of its unique characteristics. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became a beloved piece in American currency. The 1955 penny marks a significant year in the series, as it came just after World War I.e., a time of rebuilding and economic change for the United States, the U.S. Mint produced a high number of pennies during this era, but what makes the 1955 coin stand out is the large date variety, which is often linked to an error in the minting process. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1955 Lincoln penny features a profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, with the words Liberty and the year 1955 inscribed around him. The reverse shows 2 stalks of wheat, a symbol of abundance and prosperity, along with the words E pluribus unum and 1 cent. In 1955, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion pennies in total. However, the 1955 large date variety is particularly rare, especially when it comes in fine condition. The U.S. Mint did not mark a mint mark on pennies from the Philadelphia Mint, and that lack of a mint mark adds to the intrigue for this coin. In today's market, the 1955 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in fine condition can fetch impressive amounts, with prices ranging from $7,000s of dollars, depending on the specific condition and whether the coin is graded higher. However, coins with the famous double die error, a misalignment during minting that creates a double image of the date, have sold for much more, sometimes reaching up to $10,000 at auctions. This error version is one of the most prized by collectors, contributing to a growing interest in the 1955 Lincoln penny. As previously mentioned, the 1955 large date penny became famous because of the double die error, which made the date appear doubled. The double die variety is easily recognizable by the distinctive double appearance of the number 5 in the date. This error has driven up the coin's value substantially, making it one of the most valuable wheat pennies in history. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting.